Women, first of all, react positively to being treated lousily. Number two,
hell yeah, we do. Treat me like shit, baby. Barely like me.
somebody who got pregnant at 22 as a result of a one-night stand should have an abortion. Get the master's degree.
What up, guys? Welcome to Pearl's reaction series. Today, I am going to be reacting to Tom Leykis' Single Mothers Are Damaged Goods.
Here's an email from a listener named Jennifer. Jennifer writes in and says, Dear Tom, I've been listening to your show for about 6 months, and I am in complete agreement with your viewpoint on single mothers. I'm writing to you because I don't know what I can say to my best friend, who just found out she is pregnant at 22. I don't know how to get her to get an abortion. The father is 24, and of course wants nothing to do with her. Since this is the result of a one-night stand, she argues that she can take care of it herself, since she has a job and she's finished with college. But after listening to all the dumbass women who call your show, I know that is not the case. She is living with her parents, and she is of the mindset that they will help her. I've told her that
They probably will. It's a simp-epidemic, right? They totally will. Why raise your kid when your parents could do it for you? Totally.
Will stereotype her as a
She's probably right.
slut. And no man will ever want to date her. She, of course, thinks that I'm a complete bitch for saying it. By the way, men have no problem with women being sluts unless it's a matter of marrying them. No man wants to marry a slut. But we do love having sex with sluts. No, but the problem is when you are damaged goods. That's the problem. Years ago, when I lived in Phoenix and did a local radio show, there was a local car dealer who once a year, this is true, Dean will remember because Dean lived in Scottsdale. There was a car dealer. Let's just say he was on the outskirts of Phoenix. He wasn't quite in Phoenix itself. This might give you a hint as to who it is. Every year, he used to do his own radio commercials, and he would advertise the big sale that we're having on cars that got stuck out in the annual hailstorm. They were just slightly damaged by hail. And you can get great deals on those cars. And that's how I think of 22-year-old women who have babies. They might still look hot, but they've been damaged by the hailstorm. So, of course, you get them at a good price. I mean, if you want hot chicks cheap, you have to get them in the slightly damaged department.
If you want hot chicks cheap, you get them in the slightly...
And that's what these chicks are. They are damaged goods. Damaged goods are for poor guys. I mean, if you're me... You got money, power, and fame. You don't take slightly damaged goods. You don't take somebody with baggage. You don't have to. You would be amazed how many women take a run at me who have some kind of baggage or some kind of damage going on. I don't have to put up with that stuff. Find a poor guy.
Said find a poor guy.
You kidding me? There's some guy delivering Papa John's in your neighborhood. That's your man. And the reason he's working at Papa John's because he knocked up his high school sweetheart, and then now he's ready to marry you.
That's so funny.
I know it sounds ridiculous, but think about it. It's the 100% truth. We did a whole show about that. The kind of jobs guys take when they knocked up their girlfriend. And there's a whole line of jobs where you look the guy in the eye and you see that beaten like a dog look. Hangdog look. You can tell the guy is only there, like whatever dream he had has evaporated. It's been vaporized because he had 30 seconds of ejaculate with one particular individual. And now he's going to pay for it for the rest of his life, hoping you give him $2 for your Brooklyn pizza. It's Domino's, isn't it? Yeah, it doesn't matter which pizza place. Where are the wealthy pizza delivery guys working? Yeah, exactly. By the way, speaking of which, did you see that story about the fast food industry? There's apparently going to be a commercial on the Super Bowl. I forget what they're advertising, but I guess it's Kevin Federline who realized how far he's sunk because he's working at a burger place. And now the Fast Food Restaurant Association is upset.
Is that the guy that got Britney Spears pregnant? I'm not sure.
They want this commercial pulled. Like, imagine implying that that's as low as you could go for a job. Guess what? That's pretty goddamn low. The Roto-Rooter man's got a disgusting job, and at least he gets $30 an hour. Imagine implying that a job flipping burgers is about as low as you could drop. So anyway, dear, yes, the letter writer is absolutely right. Her friend is damaged goods. If she has this baby, she will be damaged goods. That's how guys will see her. Her email continues.
Yeah, her best strategy here is going to be to get the abortion and lie. Now, I'm pro-life, okay? I don't believe in abortion. I think it's wrong. But we're not talking about morality here. We're talking about strategy. And for her to get the best outcome in life, yeah, that's what she's going to have to do.
She had plans to go to London. How do you like this? Her friend had plans to go to London and get her master's degree. Now she'll be stuck in Ohio, working at her uncle's light factory the rest of her life. We're both educated, attractive girls, and she deserves better. She just can't fathom that her best friend is only trying to look out for her. Tom, pregnancy has made her insane. I wish I could lock her in a padded cell in a psychiatric ward and make her listen to your show for weeks to get a real education. If you read this on the air, I'm going to record it and play it to her with all the comments people will make when they call in so that they can see what her life is going to be like if she doesn't get an abortion. Signed, Jennifer. Jennifer, I just want to say I completely agree with you. Somebody who got pregnant at 22 as a result of a one-night stand should have an abortion. Get the master's degree. It doesn't mean don't ever have a baby or don't ever get married. Get the master's degree. Get the career going. Get your life in order. Have babies when you're ready. Don't be having babies now because you are going to live a life of poverty. You're going to be married to the Papa John's delivery guy. That's going to be your husband. You're going to hate it.
Yeah, but... because the Papa John's guy is who's going to take her. It's so funny.
Oh, I can do it on my own.
Yeah, she's going to have to lie. Guys, there's no incentive to be a good person, I'd like to say, in this world. I don't know what age I'm to the age, that's what I found out, where there's no incentive to being a good person. I'm going to be honest. So recently, I checked back and I was having a conversation with someone to talk about hoes versus prudes, who has better outcomes. And I thought, well, I was on a team in college and I had a pretty good idea of who was and who wasn't, more or less. It's like a scale. And you know what was crazy? I looked them up the other day. And percentage-wise, more of the hoes were married than the prudes. And I sat there and I was like, there is no incentive to be a good person. Zero. And it wasn't close, guys. I'd like to say that it wasn't like let's say we divided it 5 and 5, right? It was not like 3 to 4. It was so, and I sat there and I thought to myself and I was like, wow. Then I covered bankruptcy the other week. And I guess after 7 years, you can get a bankruptcy off your record and you can not pay back the money. And I thought, so I don't have debt for what? I should have just gotten into debt. Why not? I could get bankruptcy at 25 and be done with it by 35. I could have even cashed. And I thought about this. I'm like, couldn't I make money off of the debt if I just cashed out, invested it? I don't know how it works, but there's no incentive. This girl, the incentive for not killing the kid is like a life of poverty and marrying the Papa John's delivery driver. The incentive for killing this kid is she could marry better, she could get a career, she can go to England. There's way too much incentive. Poor little Johnny is kicking in their womb saying, please don't do it, Mom, don't do it. Cooked. Sorry, Johnny. You're cooked. You're done. Naski, nada. She's done.
Make it on my own. Who needs a man? Yeah, well, watch when you find out how much it costs to raise a kid. Watch when you find out how much you have to pay for an apartment with a larger square footage so you can fit a nursery or a crib or whatever. When you find out the cost of feeding, clothing, educating, and insuring a child. We are talking about hundreds of thousands of dollars over the life of that kid. Much more money than you've ever seen in your entire life. Get the abortion, you will step up your life dramatically. I'm not the guy, I'm not the one-night stand, so I don't have to pull a Hail Mary on you, darling. All I'm going to tell you is this. If you have that baby, every guy you try to date is going to see you as damaged goods. You're going to date guys of lesser education, lesser salaries, and if you got a master's degree, which it doesn't sound like you're going to bother to get now, you could probably end up making more than the loser you'll be forced to marry if you insist on getting married. It's pathetic. So I do think the hormones are driving you crazy, and what you really should do is get that abortion. I mean, am I all that wrong? This is Sarah on the Tom Leykis Show. Hello.
Hello, Mr. Leykis.
Yes.
I actually have a brief question that doesn't have anything to do with the segment that you just introduced.
Well, then why are you calling? Yeah.
That's how I feel sometimes. That's how. Do you know what? They're like, well, I disagree with you on this. I'm like, did you hear the 30-minute monologue? Well, no. I put in all this time into writing this monologue. Did you hear the question? Well, I don't know the topic. I just wanted to see you. Well, you can book time with me. You can book a session.
Did you decide to change the format of the show here or something?
No, of course not. But I do have a question that I've been wanting to
Well,
ask.
if it isn't relevant to what we're talking about, you shouldn't be calling in.
Well, then your screener should not put me through.
Well, what exactly are you calling that? Let's find out what that is.
Okay. I listen to Like It's 101 all the time.
Right.
And agree with many of the things that you profess on your show.
Yeah.
However, in practice, they're sometimes sometimes hard to live by, to actually like go out and do the things that you say every guy and every single girl should do.
How do you know they're hard to do? I do them.
Well, and that's where I'm going. Has anybody ever been able to watch you all day to
Actually, yes, the answer is yes. Last Valentine's Day, I invited listeners to join me at Lola's bar on Fairfax. It was the night of Valentine's Day. And right in front of a crowd. What? No. This was not sponsored by the radio station. There was no broadcast.
Okay.
There was nothing going on except I went with Dean, and the two of us hung out there. And in the course of the evening, I picked up 2 chicks. And people saw me there.
So you've never taken, for instance, a young gentleman under your wing and shown him the likest way, like from 6 o'clock in the morning when you get up until...
No, it's not necessary. I was at a bar. I picked up chicks. I did it my way. And anyone who's ever seen me with chicks, anyone who's ever seen me with chicks in public knows it must be working.
Where can we view you working this magic?
Well, Valentine's Day, I'll probably do it again.
Interesting. I would like to see you in action. I think it's real easy to...
She wants him. She wants to be picked up by him. She's down.
Background and where you get your information.
Forget about my background. I'm talking about the callers who call in and say, I did what you said, and it worked for me. Yeah.
It's women's worst fear that men can learn game. We think that, like, men need to come... We want the men that are popular to be popular from the beginning. We don't like game because it, like, bypasses our filter. Because we basically filter you out if you're weird, if you're awkward, if you're feminine. Like, we just... I mean, you guys know how it is. You guys will say one thing and we're like, eh... And so we hate that men can learn to be charming because it's a workaround. And it does work. It does. It really does.
Now, you don't listen as much as you say. If you've never heard a call like that, you don't listen as often as you say.
Well, of course I've heard calls like that. But
so what about them? Are they all lying? I'm lying. They're lying. We're all lying.
No. Oh, absolutely not. I'm not being hostile at all. I'm curious. Okay. I think that you have to dig deeper, though, into your mentality in order to understand where you're coming from. And I don't often hear your
where I'm coming from is women, first of all, react positively to being treated lousily. Number 2, women like...
Hell yeah, we do. Treat me like shit, baby. Barely like me.
Confidence. And a confident man is one who says, I don't care if you sleep with me or you don't. Or, fine, go back to your ex-boyfriend. That's okay with me. Women can't get enough of that because generally men are a bunch of sniveling pussies who will tolerate any crap from her
Hell yeah, they are.
majesty. And the minute a man comes along who is confident and calls her on her crap, and tells her, go ahead, fine, sleep with someone else. I don't care.
I think that's refreshing, but I haven't seen very many men doing it in public.
Well, dear, understand, our show, in the highest-rated markets, because like in L.A., there's 82 radio stations, okay? The highest-rated show would be 10% of the audience. So in any city, 90% of the men are not listening.
I just think that there's a lot of things that are left questionable sometimes.
There's nothing questionable about it. If you met one of my listeners, you would know it.
Well,
but do you understand? I know women have a very hard time with numbers. Do you understand that if the highest rated show has 10% of the audience, that means 90% of the people you meet don't listen? Do you understand that there's 82 stations? A station with 2% of the audience has a higher than average audience. And so the station with a higher than average rating, 98% of the listening is not to that station.
I guess what I'm getting at is you seem to be a very intelligent businessman, and I sometimes wonder about how you implement the practices that you do in a society.
The way I say, how I implement them. I tell you how I implement them.
It just seems very hard to do a lot of...
I give very specific. I tell men how to avoid eating dinner with a woman and why to avoid it. I tell men to avoid going to concerts, avoid going to movies. I tell men to keep the conversation.
He really was before his time. Yeah, you guys really are taking L's when you take a girl to a concert, because most likely the guy on stage could take your girl. It's like our brain is just who's the most popular man, right? We're so dumb. You guys care about like character and big boobs. Do you know what I mean? Like that's you guys. So you guys care about the character, big boobs. But you guys have seen a man that's blinded by a woman with big tits, right? I mean, you've seen it where you can't even believe the simp shit he's doing for the big boobs. You wouldn't believe the simp shit that we do for a guy that we perceive to be popular. You guys could be faking it, and men do fake it. They buy Instagram followers and it works. Have you seen the picture or the video of the guy who got fake live stream viewers where he got like a camera and he put like a fake viewers and all the girls were all over it? He lived like a king this night. Dumb shit. Do you know what? That's the age you get to as a person, I think, when you realize all this dumb shit works that you think you're above. It's like, there's a girl on my team in college, right? And do you know what? She was dating one of the like more attractive men at our school, I'll say. And I couldn't understand how she pulled this off because I found her to be annoying. And if I find you to be annoying, you're pretty annoying. So, because like if I'm saying that, then that's pretty bad. So, do you know what? She had like 2 personalities and it was so crazy. She would have like 2 voices where she would talk normal and then she would talk like slow and like it would be like a second talking to him. And I'm like, what the fuck just happened? Do you know what I mean? But this shit, it worked. She had one of the best looking boyfriends on campus. Did he cheat? Yeah, he did. Do you know what I mean? But I mean, he was publicly with her. So she figured something out. And it wasn't like, and so I think men have this too, where it's like they can be themselves around men, and then women, they have to develop this second personality of just like men can't even give their heart to a woman, right? Because that's a terrible idea. As soon as you do that, we'll abuse it. You can't even truly like love us, because if you actually love us, you kind of have to hate us a little bit. So that's the part of life when you realize there's no incentive to be a good person. I'm not saying you shouldn't be a good person. Everyone's got their own morality. But there's definitely no incentive, right? Men and women, really, truly. Like I was thinking about this the other day. What incentive do women have to be modest? 0. None. Naski, nada. Women get like a whole attractiveness point if they're like naked enough. What is the incentive to not be naked if you have a good body? It's always convenient. The women that are modest never have good bodies. Anyways, that's my rant today.
Stay short, say as little as possible, and when you do talk to a woman, be unpredictable and unreliable, because that is what gets the best reaction.
What if this situation were reversed and you needed to, because you seem to have all the answers to everything? What if you had to tutor a woman?
I would tell this is advice for anyone who can admit that they want to get laid. The thing about most women is they'll give you some candy-coated thing that they're looking for love, or they're looking for the man of their dreams, or they're looking for a soulmate, or blah, blah, blah. I know there's women who want to get laid because I've been with them. But women will rarely admit that, you see?
No, and it makes perfect sense. I wonder about how you...
Well, don't repeat your material. You've already said this 5 times. There, it gets tiresome. You've said that 5 times already.
Okay.
You're skeptical? Fine, we get it.
All right, thank you very much.
Thank you. You only have 90 seconds of juice at most.
Yeah. Okay. Well, guys, I like Tom Leykis. I like him. I've never actually, I think I listened to him and it was a while ago, but it's been a minute. And he really is ahead of his time. This is from like the 90s or something. That's what people were saying. Anyways, guys, let me know what you think in the comments. Make sure you like the video on your way out. Please subscribe to the channel and ring that notification bell. Thank you so much for watching, and sign up to the Audacity Network. That's theaudacitynetwork.com. I will see you guys tomorrow. Bye-bye.